Well, y'all, the weather's still not cooperating. I think that elk right there is trying to race me. Are you trying to race me? Anyways, weather's not cooperating, so the trails are still a little bit snowy, but that's alright. I still got to catch up on them mailbag questions. Here we go. Don't race me either.
John Cooper wants to know, what was it like meeting the great Eve Ride? Any plans for a free sticker giveaway? Hermit for president, maybe. Oh, I like that idea. Oh yeah, what was it like meeting Eve Ride?
Okay, thanks for the sticker idea. The great Eve Ride, right. You know, he's not that different than what you think from watching the videos. However, well, man, how do I put this nicely? Okay, you know what? I'm not even gonna try to put it nicely. Yeah, have you ever heard the expression herding cats? All right, cats got nothing on Eve Ride. All right, whenever me and CDS fella are talking to each other about something and we're trying to describe something that's way more chaotic than herding cats, what we say is it's like herding Tylers.
Hobbs asks, how much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood?
A woodchuck as much as you could chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood. I thought everybody knew that.
Brad B asks, which looks and is cooler, the new Ducati Scrambler or the vintage Honda Scrambler? I prefer the vintage Hondas, as I'm vintage myself, but value your opinion. Oh, thank you, Brad B.
Ooh, good question. Which Scrambler? You know, that's a tough call. I think I kind of like the Ducati a little bit. I don't know. I think it's still kind of a little too expensive, even though I know it's still a great price for Ducati. Yeah, I kind of like the Ducati a little bit better if I could have one, just because I just want less hassle. And I know it would be. But you know, here's the thing about like the retro stuff. Sometimes it really drives me crazy, and sometimes I think it's great. And here's the difference: is like, remember the Chevy SSR and then the Volkswagen Beetle, like. Those things retro, those just kind of made me feel like they were pandering to baby boomers. Like they didn't really do anything innovative. They just kind of packaged some crap that they knew baby boomers would buy, and that's why it exists. Now when it comes to like the new Camaro and the Mustang that are retro, you could kind of say the same thing, but on the other hand, like if they didn't do those cars retro, then would we have any other really cool cars? I mean, you know, it's like, do you want another Econobox? No, I guess if I was going to have a car, I'd rather have a cool retro muscle car than an Econobox. So, yeah, on one hand, I don't really mind the retro stuff because it seems like automobiles have kind of lost their soul a little bit, and retro is one way to get their soul back into it. On the other hand, it just kind of seems like marketing to baby boomers sometimes, and that means it has even less soul.
Dirthog365 asks, what are your thoughts on minimum wage in America? Should it remain in the hands of the federal government, determined by individual states, or be given back to businesses to set their own regulation?
Yeah, good question. I don't really get the minimum wage thing, and here's why. I call it burrito economics. So let's assume that you can't afford a burrito. Let's say burritos are $8, and you make minimum wage, and on that wage, with all your expenses, you can't afford a burrito. You just think the price of burritos is outrageous. So what you do is you vote for a congressperson who's going to raise minimum wage so that you have a higher wage and can now afford a $8 burrito. All right. Problem with that is that everybody who works in the burrito shop also makes minimum wage. So the person who owns the burrito shop has to pay them more money. Now, what do you think they're going to do to get them the more money? I mean, they're not going to take it out of their pocket. They're going to pass that extra expense on to the customers. Now we got $9 burritos, and we're right back where we started because now you can't afford a $9 burrito. So really, all minimum wage does is it causes inflation, which just seems stupid. Now you may be saying, well, Hermit, isn't that kind of like, you know, rising water raises all boats, and you know, you may not do any good, but doesn't hurt anything either? Well, not exactly, because it distracts us from the real problem. Basically, politicians go out and to get votes, they promise to raise minimum wage, and either they're too stupid to understand burrito economics, and therefore they have no business being in office, or they do understand it, but they are counting on other people not understanding it to vote for them, which makes them jerks. And the problem we're trying to solve with minimum wage is we're trying to make sure that the have-nots don't have so much less than the haves. Now, there's a whole other debate on whether or not we need to be trying to solve that problem, but let's just say for the sake of argument, we do need to be solving that problem. All right, raising minimum wage isn't going to do it. We're going to vote for people to raise minimum wage, thinking that we did do something about it, but we really ought to be doing is focusing on something like education. If we focused on better education, then we'd probably get to a point where the have-nots had more and probably make more traction in solving this problem.
Old School Dirt Biker asks, what tire combos do you use on your bikes? What is the lifespan of your tires, as much asphalt as you ride? Watching your videos, you seem to ride about 70% street and 30% dirt. Is that right? Keep the videos coming. I really enjoy you and CDS.
Tires. All right. So the 250R that I ride has MT21s front and back. And this DRZ here has an MT21 on the front and a D606 on the rear. Mainly because it came with a D606. I prefer the MT21s, and when I go to replace that D606, I'll probably replace it with the MT21. But the D606, I don't have any complaints about it. It's been fine. Now I have to say, it kind of pains me that you say it looks like I ride more pavement than dirt, and that it looks like I'm riding about 70% pavement. Which bothers me more is that that's probably true. Now I think of myself as a dirt rider, and I try to ride dirt, and I try to get as much of the videos done on dirt. Unfortunately, we get like 7 months here where we can't ride on trails. So, you know, over the winter, I don't have much choice but to do a lot of video on pavement. Also, you know, if I just think of something and I want to make a video about it, but I don't want to take the time to ride an hour out to some dirt, then, you know, I'm kind of stuck just riding around on pavement, getting my thoughts on video. So yeah, I feel bad that the perception is that I ride that much pavement, and feel bad about how much pavement I do ride. But the tires that I buy, I try to buy more 50-50 or with a dirt biased. And those MT21s, they seem to do really good on both. If I'm going to be riding mostly pavement, then I'll put about 20 pounds in them. If I'm going to be riding dual sport, then I'll probably put about 18 pounds in them. And if I'm going to be riding off-road, then I'll put 15 pounds of pressure in them. And that's only because where I ride on trails here, there's a lot of sharp rocks that I hit hard. And I'm just worried about going any lower than 15. If I was riding other places, where you know, if I was riding this stuff here, for example, all day long, then I probably would go with 13 pounds, because I do have locks, 2 rim locks on both tires. Alright, thank y'all. I enjoy doing these mailbaggers. We'll do some more soon. Over and out.